안녕하십니까. 잘 지내요? 네? 어디 가요?
I was one of the few foreigners allowed into the world's most secretive and authoritarian country, North Korea, to join the 31st Pyongyang International Marathon. We were the first foreigners in Pyongyang since the borders closed due to COVID-19.
안녕. 안녕하십니까. 안녕.
Alongside 200 people from 45 different countries, we ran either the full or half marathon, or the 10K and 5K. In the previous episode, I shared how I made my way from South to North Korea, whether I could even get a visa given my background, and why I was especially nervous about this trip. In this video, it's time to run. 10K for me, and later we'll visit Pyongyang's zoo. But first, let's check out the North Korean Sosan hotel room where D-Day began. Good morning, guys. Let me show you what a hotel room in Sosan Hotel looks like. Check out the bathroom. Simple, but it got everything. Some soap, a toothbrush, shampoo, rinse, and mom shampoo. We have a shower with a bathtub, but very low pressure. Warm water, which is good, but very low pressure. We have 2 beds with a flickering light and a few small cockroaches. I've already killed one. But you gotta understand that this hotel hasn't been used since the beginning of Corona, which is quite a long time, right? And then we have our own small balcony, and I wish I could show you the view of Pyongyang, but this morning when we woke up, a really thick mist came in and there's nothing we can see now. Nothing. But it is D-Day. Today we will run the marathon and I will do the 10K. But since I signed up for this tour only 1.5 weeks ago, I had little time to practice. Around 7 a.m. we piled onto the buses and, like everything in North Korea, moved out together, nice and organized, to Kimong Stadium. I won't lie, I was nervous. Soon 50,000 North Koreans would be watching me struggle through a 10K run. Still, I tried to enjoy the ride. The city slowly waking up, workers heading to their jobs, the endless propaganda signs, the old cars and battered bikes rolling by. In those first few days, everything feels endlessly fascinating.
There will be 100,000 people, I expect.
50,000 seats. Let's stick with that number.
Alright guys, so we're here at the Kimong Stadium, ready for the marathon. One guy in our bus does the full marathon, another a half marathon, and all the others do either 10 or 5K. But it's crazy to see that 50,000 North Koreans, or 50,000 chosen people, according to the guide, 100,000 are now walking to the stadium. Here all the athletes. Well, many of them are, but most of them are not. So most of the athletes are now preparing here, and in about 10 minutes we start. We have an opening ceremony under the watchful eyes of 50 or maybe 100,000 DPRKers. We will do the marathon through Pyongyang. Do they have to buy a ticket, or is it something they get for free?
Oh, they buy tickets.
Oh, they buy tickets?
There will be a football match. So
oh, who's playing today? DPRK against
DPRK.
Oh, only DPRK. Okay. Too bad.
Internal war.
Yeah. So do they judge some people? Do they like football?
Yeah.
Is that a big sport here?
Funny enough, Kimong Stadium was actually built by the Japanese in 1926. Back then, it was called Kirimli Stadium. It got bombed by the US during the Korean War, rebuilt in 1969, and later renamed after Kim Il-sung. Today, it's the second biggest stadium in North Korea, just after the Mayday Stadium.
Ja, dit is gekkigheid, jongens. Check this out. Ja, in de verte kun je alle Noord-Koreaanse atleten zien. En het is grappig ook dat ze een aantal sponsors hebben.
Oh my days, this feeling, as you can imagine, is indescribable.
Dit is wel een van de gekste en idiootste ervaringen die ik heb meegemaakt. En dan gaan we het voetbalveld op. Kunstgras. Hier, Jozo, Jaehook, Boeman.
That's the thing about being able to read Korean. You start noticing different things. I wasn't expecting to see advertisements, but there they were. A few banks, a new bottled water brand, an app for donating to education, and even a new phone.
Zo, de Noord-Koreaanse atleten staan hier aan de rechterkant, helemaal goed georganiseerd en wij komen eraan en het is één grote chaos, één grote mes. Oh, I know this song.
하차 사월이 봄날 아름다운 평양의 모라문 속에 자리 잡은 김일성 경기장에서 수만 명의 평양 시민들과 체육의 여가들이 고단한 관심과 기력 속에 제31차 평양 국제 마라톤 경기대회를 진행하게 됩니다.
수고하셨지요. That was great. Look at them, they're all so powered up,
Dude,
eh?
look at those legs.
How old do you think they are? They're super young.
Dude, those legs are insane.
혹시 몇 살입니까? 정도? 아, 18살? 아, 알겠습니다. Okay, we gotta start with the 10K group. So we have the 5K over there, 10K over here, half marathon and then the full marathon all the way to the front. So there are North Koreans in all the groups. And yeah, obviously, the stadium is going crazy.
Then suddenly, a group of real young North Korean athletes joined our group. And as you will see in a second, they made us foreigners look like real amateurs. They did an awesome job.
안녕하십니까. Let's go! Those guys run! Oh, what the hell? They run fast.
Just like that, we were running through the streets of Pyongyang, with many North Koreans cheering us on.
Hey! So just like that, guys, we're running in Pyongyang. There I see the Moranbong Sulchip, where the Pyongyang lights have a drink at night.
Let's not forget, most of these people hadn't seen a foreigner in years. And suddenly, 200 of us were running past them. I actually felt sincerely touched by all the small yet meaningful interactions. A quick hello, a fighting, a pali-pali. I mean, I'm running. I don't really have time to stop and ask about the latest news in Pyongyang. But you have to understand, despite most of these people being the upper middle class, they probably never seen anything from the outside world. And haven't seen foreigners, at best just a few in years.
Here you have a restaurant, but it doesn't say what kind of food they serve. You see a lot of shikdangs everywhere. Only some of them say like sutbulgogi or tokigogi, a few other things, but most of them just say shikdangs. I wonder what kind of food they serve in those places. Alright, into the tunnel. Even though you're not really interacting with the locals, you get to say hello to everyone. Hey! 안녕하십니까? Patek! DPRK kids, they beat each and every one of us.
So even a simple human interaction would feel meaningful in any country. But here, today, in Pyongyang, it felt extra special. And I could feel it, especially when kids waved out of their windows from a distance. Hopefully they will remember, just like I'll remember them.
안녕하십니까. I think we did about 7.5 kilometers. 2.5 more to go to Kimong Stadium. I never run this far without much training, so I'm really proud of myself. I think. 안녕, 안녕. 안녕하십니까? 안녕. There you have a Ibal Kwan. Ibal, a North Korean barber. 안녕하십니까? 잘 지내요? 네? 어디 가요? We're almost there, guys. We're at the Arch of Triumph. and then we turn left into Kimong Stadium. Hear that? Hear the people? Make your belly. 힘듭니다. 술 많이 마셔서 못 듭니다. 네덜란드.
Walking into the stadium, cheered on by 50,000 North Koreans, gave me chills. At the same time, a football match was going on, the red team being the favorite.
Isn't this crazy, guys? North Koreans playing football, North Koreans cheering, and a bunch of white Koreans running poorly into the stadium. It's unreal.
While I awkwardly jogged toward the finish line, here's a quick fun fact. In 2010, a World Cup qualification match between North and South Korea was supposed to be played right here in Pyongyang. But it had to be moved to Shanghai because North Korean authorities refused to allow South Korean national anthem to be played, or even to show the South Korean flag at Kimong Stadium. Also, for today's event, we were instructed not to wear clear national symbols, so I kept my orange jersey in my bag.
몇 킬로 하셨어요? 몇 킬로? 10킬로? 5킬로? 수고하셨습니다. This old man has run 5 kilo. Mad respect. Mad respect.
If I wanted any kind of interaction with locals, I figured the shop workers would be the best place to start. Plus, I was in the mood for beer.
안녕하십니까. 맥주 하나 주시고.
맥주.
힘이 많이 없어서 어떤 음식 좋아합니까? 여기 땅콩? 네, 땅콩 하나.
네.
그리고 내동강, 네.
네. 해동강용도 있고.
아니 캔. 이거 좋아합니다. 네. 이거 하나. 시원해요. 뭐가 맛있습니까?
뭐가? 은행씨도 맛있고 낙지.
이거 좋아합니다.
비슷해 은행씨.
이거 하나.
네. 낙하생.
야, 이거도 하나.
카레야.
네. 그리고 옷이 너무 예쁩니다.
고맙습니다.
네네네. 80. 영어 좋아하시네요. 조금. 조금.
저 정말 잘했습니다.
너무 아직도 멀었습니다. 혹시 평양인이세요?
네.
그래요? 여기 태어났어요?
네.
네, 감사합니다. 괜찮습니다. 네, 감사합니다.
One thing everyone on the tour agreed on, the Daedonggang No. 2 beer was surprisingly good. The winner of the full marathon was from North Korea, and not long after, one of the Ethiopians finished. But strangely, hardly anyone paid any attention to him.
Ethiopia in the house. Good, give him some attention.
A bit later, one of the guides showed me her notebook with all our names, and to my shock, my YouTube channel was written down under company. I honestly don't remember giving them my channel, for obvious reasons. Outside, things just got a little weirder. How do I explain this? The whole tour is obviously very coordinated, and while the locals are physically close, they can still feel far away. It's not the soldiers who keep an eye on us, it's certain men blending into the crowds wearing discreet earpieces.
So this, guys, this is where 2018 I talked to all the children on the square, and now I'm back here. Not allowed to get any closer because I get too close to the locals. That's what was told to me. But all these people are just coming out of the stadium after they've watched us running the marathon. So the guy just told me that the bus behind me has all the women of the music, but I'm actually not allowed to talk to them. Not sure why, because they're also friendly. But you can see all the people going home now. The marathon is officially over, but our trip has just begun because we arrived later than the other group, and our marathon was immediately the day after we arrived. So now the rest of the days, 3 more days, we will just explore and sightsee in Pyongyang. So yeah, a lot more to see. Bye bye. But actually, what is most interesting about this is the conversations you have with the guides when the camera is not on. I asked my guide, what do you know about the Netherlands? But nothing. So we can talk about the flag, the colors, certain traditions, stuff like that. At some point, you know, they asked, where's your wife from? And I just said, yeah, she's from Korea. And they responded quite happily or positively. They even said like she must be really 부럽다 that she can't come to the DPRK. They weren't even sure if she could come or not. So you can explain that this is how it works, and I told them that I live in Seoul for over 7 years now. Stuff like that. So it's those conversations that make this trip kind of special, if you ask me. And you can see that when the people walked home, they were kind of separated by these soldiers, and there were other guys in long jackets kind of checking whether you know, we tried to mingle or not, whether we crossed the line or not. So it's kind of hard. If you really try, you make a lot of people here who have to do their job uncomfortable.
Look at this guy here, he just won the gold medal!
Participation medal, but it's good enough.
Ah, okay,
Works
anyway.
for me.
After a quick shower, we stopped by the Pyongyang Central Zoo, which opened in 1959 and was renovated in 2016 to make it more modern. Though it still feels like stepping into a mix of old-school Soviet charm and North Korean propaganda. The zoo houses local species as well as animals gifted from other countries.
So for a lot of the animals, they use different words in Korean. I was actually expecting them to say horangi instead of bomsa. Bomsa. They put Japan on the map. So. What did you do? they forgot this country. Yeah. It's supposed to be here, but it's gone. Thank you. Awesome. What do we have? Oh, Eskimo. Yeah, it's called Eskimo. Yeah.
You read Korean?
Yeah.
Ah, nice. What does it say?
Eskimo.
Eskimo.
Yeah.
In North Korea, ice cream is often called Eskimo. Then something strange happened. I asked the guide for a toilet stop, but they wanted me to go all the way to the entrance toilet, even though there was one right next to us. That made no sense, but after some pushing, they finally agreed. And believe it or not, a random guide still walked with me. Kinda weird. Then suddenly, Nick from Koryo had a real human interaction with some kids, which was honestly really nice to see.
Is he doing magic tricks?
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually do magic?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, that was fantastic.
Do it easy. Aiyah, nice. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very stupid, but very good.
That's it for the second episode. Make sure to watch the first one if you missed it. And get ready, the next one is coming soon. We'll be visiting Kim Il-sung's birthplace, watching a taekwondo show and having some unexpected interactions with North Koreans. Before you leave, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. And a big thanks to all the old and new members of my channel. Your support truly means the world to me.
Alright guys, this is the view from our hotel room. On the right side, football fields, stadium, a very low wall. It's scary to stand here. The 29th floor.